Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to discuss the characteristic parameters of waves. We have discussed the types of waves, so on the basis of those waves we are going to discuss their parameters. So here the first parameter is crust. It is defined as the part of the transverse wave above the equilibrium position is called crust. If I draw a transverse wave, so this is a slinky spring in which a transverse wave has been produced. In this transverse wave, the particle has a mean position at this point, so during the vibration, it goes up in this direction having maximum amplitude in upward direction. So this point which is above from the mean position at maximum amplitude is called crust of the transverse wave. Now if we define trough, so the part of the wave in which the amplitude of the particle is maximum in downward direction is called trough of the wave. So this point which is in downward direction and at maximum amplitude from the mean position, so this point is known as trough of the transverse wave. Similarly, in case of longitudinal wave, we have compressions and rarefaction. So for that purpose I have drawn the diagram for a slinky spring having longitudinal wave. So the compression is defined as the region of high density and high pressure relative to the density of equilibrium position is known as compressions. Here you can see that the density of the vibration is maximum as well as its pressure. So this region and this region are known as compression for the longitudinal wave. And here the density and pressure are smaller as compared to the equilibrium position. So these regions are known as rarefaction. It should be noted that longitudinal wave propagates through these rarefactions and compressions, while a transverse wave propagates through crust and trough. Now to define wavelength, so in case of transverse wave, the distance between two consecutive crusts or two consecutive trough is known as wavelength. Wavelength is denoted by a Greek letter lambda, and its SI unit is meter. That is, it is measured in units of meter. It is length, so it is measured in meters. So the wavelength of the transverse wave is defined as the distance between two crusts or two troughs which are consecutively are known as wavelength. In case of longitudinal wave, we define the wavelength as the distance between two compressions, two consecutive compressions or two consecutive rarefactions is called wavelength. Similarly, here the wavelength is denoted by the Greek letter lambda, while it is distance, so that's why it is measured in units of meters. Now if we define amplitude, so we define amplitude in terms of transverse waves at the maximum displacement of the vibrating particle from its equilibrium position is known as amplitude. So it has been shown in this diagram, that is, this one is the equilibrium position of the particle during vibration. So in vibration it attains the maximum displacement from its mean position is this one. So this line represents the amplitude. Similarly, this particle maximum displacement towards this direction is this one. So this line also represents the amplitude of the vibrations, and here the mean position is this one, and the maximum displacement from mean position during the vibration is this one. So this distance represents the amplitude of the wave. So amplitude is denoted by capital A or x naught, and the unit of the amplitude is same as that of the wavelength, which is meter. So amplitude is also measured in units of meters. Now wave cycle, what is a wave cycle? Then we define wave cycle as when a wave moves through a point, then it undergoes several vibrations. So this particle undergoes several vibrations. This is its equilibrium position. First it goes in upward direction with a maximum displacement, and it goes from its equilibrium position in upward direction with maximum displacement and returns back to its mean position. So we say that it has completed one wave cycle. So the if I represent it by O point and this one by B, so this OB, this portion represent one wave cycle. Now if this one is the another wave cycle, so it forms a wave train when a number of wave cycles are after each other, then it is said to be a wave train. So this whole diagram represents a wave train, while the diagram from O to B represents a single wave cycle. Now towards the next parameter, which is frequency. So the number of wave trains or number of wave cycles passing through a certain point in unit time is called frequency of the wave. So if consider this is point P. So the number of wave cycles passing through this point in unit time is called its frequency. Let's say 3 wave cycles passes through this point in 1 second, then its frequency will be 3 hertz. The frequency is measured in units of hertz or cycles per second. Mathematically, we can write frequency as number of wave cycles divided by time. Here n represents the number of wave cycles, while t represents the time which is taken by the wave cycles and passing through this certain point P. So the unit of frequency is hertz, that is number of cycles divided by seconds, cycles per second, vibrations per second are hertz, which is represented by Hz, is the unit of frequency. Now we are going to define time period. So the time required for a wave to complete one wave cycle is known as its time period. Time period is represented by capital T, while its measurement is taken in seconds, and the relation between frequency and time period is that time period is reciprocal of frequency. Mathematically, we can write that time period is equal to 1 over f. Here T represents time period and f represents the frequency. Time period is measured in seconds. Thanks.